Hello, potato! No, this is not the same video you've seen before, or well, actually, maybe it is. I don't know. In the future, it might be. I've had YouTube all the time, like, take videos I've already seen and say I haven't seen them before. So maybe you've already seen this video. But if you're seeing this video when it first came out, no, it's not a video you've already seen. Yes, I have done Heinz Macaroni Cheese in a tin before, back during Heinz Week. But that's not what we're doing today. Today, we are revisiting the Heinz Macaroni Cheese in creamy cheese sauce for a couple of reasons. The first being, I get the impression from people that after my first video, people seem to think that I didn't like this and that it was gross. And it was certainly different, and it was very saucy to the point of almost being a macaroni cheese soup more than macaroni and cheese, as I, an American, understand it. But I didn't dislike it. It was different. It was a very subtle flavor. It was very simple, but it wasn't bad. And I get the impression, I've received the impression from people that they think that this is like one of the worst things I've tried on here, which tells me they haven't seen the boiled peanuts episode. And no, it was fine. So why am I doing it again if I've done it before? It's not just to say, you know, it wasn't awful. It's because I had said in that this is not a thing in America. We don't have macaroni and cheese in a can in the US. And you know what? I was wrong. We do. I saw it on the shelf in the store this week. I'm like, I have never seen that before. I've never seen it advertised before. I didn't know Chef Boyardee did their own canned macaroni and cheese, which the can seems maybe a little bit larger, which I want to say that was the same issue with their spaghetti and meatballs compared to the Heinz spaghetti as well. I still have not been able to find just canned plain spaghetti, so that remains a fair comparison, or as fair as I could make it. So I thought, you know, we need to revisit the macaroni cheese and compare it to the American mac and cheese pasta in cheese flavored sauce compared to Heinz macaroni cheese in a creamy cheese sauce. They both claim to have no artificial colors, no artificial flavors anyways, no artificial preservatives, no artificial dyes. I guess that falls under colors. Yet somehow, I don't think this is going to be as natural as our macaroni cheese here was. So let's look at the labels first. So this does that thing that I find annoying where it gives you a per cup size and then a per can size, and the serving is 1 can, so why do I need the per cup size? I guess there must be diets that must use that. And this, of course, gives you that the half a can is meant to be a serving of this. So we have to double our numbers on here. So calorie-wise for the tin, 350 versus, 340? So pretty similar on that front. And I think this can maybe a little bit bigger, 15 ounces. I don't know. It's in grams. I have no idea. I could look that up, I suppose. But I guess a can must be about 500 grams? 400 grams. So I don't know my grams. Oh, hold on. 425 grams. So yes. It's on the can if you just read the words and numbers. So yeah, this is 425 grams, so it is a little bit bigger. So that accounts for probably the calorie difference. So they're about the same on that front. Ingredient-wise, well, I think this is where we're going to see some differences. The ingredients here, where'd they go? Macaroni is water, durum wheat, semolina, water, skimmed milk, cheddar cheese, contains milk, reduced fat cheese, corn flour, flavoring, contains milk, modified corn flour, rapeseed oil, mustard, salt, stabilizer, polyphosphates and sodium phosphates, sugar color, beta-carotene, may contain egg. And over here we have water, enriched pasta, durum wheat, semolina, wheat protein, isolate, wheat gluten, phosphate, lactic acid, niacin, reduced iron, thiamine, I guess, has an E on the end, mononitrate, vitamin B1, riboflavin, vitamin B2, folic acid, less than 2% of cream, modified cornstarch, cheese flavor, whey protein concentrate, whey powder, maltodextrin, natural flavor, cheddar cheese, milk, culture, salt, enzymes. There's a lot more stuff in this one. But I'm going to say, honestly, looking at it, there's margarine in there. It doesn't seem, I mean, there's more of it. It seems like maybe lower quality stuff, but I'm not going to say it actually seems like it's that much worse. However, so far calories are about the same. Ingredients are about the same, I'm going to say, as far as their naturalness. But let's look at the nutrition beyond the calories. And I think sodium is where we're going to see that big jump. So a tin of this is going to be, looks like about 12% of your daily sodium. As where a tin of this is 69%. That's almost your entire day's salt just in this can. So my prediction is this is going to have a lot more flavor than this does, purely based on it having a ton more salt. As far as other things, how do we go? Cholesterol, 7% and 0. So protein looks like less than 7 grams. Protein here, 11 grams, so it's got more protein in it. So I guess that'd be, that less than 7 is for half the can, so I guess it's less than 14. I don't know, it could be the same. That's not a helpful number, frankly. I mean, why 7? Why is less than 7 significant? So it's 6? Is it 5? Is it 1? Give me a whole number. Or a fraction of a number, that's fine too. And, yeah, I don't think there's anything else much to say looking at them. Now, another prediction, this is not going to be nearly as saucy, because remember this? You can hear that sloshing around in there. Because it's almost a soup. It's almost a cheese soup with macaroni. And this, however, does not make that noise. It's a little bit of squishing, but no sloshing like you hear here. And of course, they feel a little different. This feels more solid. This feels like it has liquid in it. So, it's time for another pasta face-off. This time, Heinz versus Chef Boyardee, but in the arena of macaroni and cheese. And this time, one could argue that Heinz has the advantage because that's the only one I've ever tried before. Therefore, that's the one I'm used to. So why don't we pop it open and take a look at it, just to remind ourselves, refresh our memories of what this looked like. And yep, it's a very pale yellow in a very thin sauce, and a lot of it. And I like a lot of sauce. It could be a little thicker, I'll be honest with you, as my memory. And it's only been a few weeks. My memory should be pretty good, right? It's a very pale color. Smells very cheesy, but almost more of a mild cheddary cheese than, say, your normal mac and cheese. And we'll try a bit of it out of the tin, just like before, just to be fair, just to keep a pattern. There is a piece of macaroni with sauce. It's about to drip. And it's just kind of a very subtle, cheesy flavor to it. Honestly, we picked up some like cheddar and kale pasta sauce that kind of reminds me a little bit of that flavor. Of course, there's no kale in here, but the cheesiness is just kind of a subtle cheesiness to it. I think almost the kale flavors that sauce more. But that's not what this video is about. I don't know why I'm talking about it. All right, let's check out what Chef Boyardee has to tell us, or has to show us. And, well, it's definitely not as saucy, is it? That, kind of like our, I think, was it the spaghetti meatballs, where it's just kind of solid in there. That's, yeah, that's not like coming out very quick at all. So, I mean, this looks like kind of more what I'm used to from American, like almost like a Stouffer's, but even then less saucy than Stouffer's by the looks of it. It kind of looks a lot like homemade in that there's not nearly enough sauce on it, or that it's just thickened up too much. But let's check out a piece of that. It smells like American macaroni and cheese. Yeah, I didn't smell the whole can, I just smelled a piece this time. But not too dissimilar, honestly, in the smell from the Heinz, just maybe a little bit stronger. Oh, honestly, at least cold. I mean, obviously, you aren't meant to eat these cold. That has less flavor. That's weird. I expected that would be kind of overpoweringly like cheesy and salty and savory. And I'm going to say cold. Again, this is just one noodle from each. But cold, Heinz has more flavor. That surprises me. All right, let's be fair about this and actually heat them up like you're supposed to. So I'm going to go do that, and when I come back, we'll try them properly. All right, we are back. Our pastas have been bowled and heated up in the microwave, just like Mother used to do. One thing I'll point out on this can, the instructions for heating it: pour pasta into a microwave-safe bowl. This pasta does not pour. This pasta wouldn't pour unless you maybe filled the can with water first. I was like, yeah, my original thought that looked like homemade macaroni and cheese kind of still stands. It's not as saucy as I would like it to be. It looks like someone kind of got halfway to making macaroni and cheese at home correctly, and just kind of missed it by a little bit. And this is the reheated leftover version of that, is what it looks like. And of course, just like before, very, very saucy, almost a macaroni soup, like a cheese soup with macaroni in it, which, you know, not necessarily a bad thing, I suppose. But again, not what I, as an American, think of when I think macaroni and cheese. But again, it isn't macaroni and cheese, it's macaroni cheese. And this isn't macaroni and cheese either, I suppose it's mac and cheese. I guess I should take those names as being important, right? Alright, so it's time for the taste test. I have to say, this, even heated up, it just smells like pasta. It doesn't smell as cheesy as I would have expected it. As for this, smells a little bit more strongly than it did cold, but not drastically different. It smells like it did last time. And now, I haven't gone back and reviewed what I said in the last video when I tried the macaroni cheese for the first time. If I'm saying different things now than I'm saying about it then perhaps I have just, my tastes have changed in those few weeks. I don't know. But I didn't double check to make sure I'm being consistent. I'm trying to give this a fair comparison based on how they taste in my mouth today. So let's do our reigning champion, I guess. Our known quantity. Our Heinz Macaroni Cheese. Just a couple pieces. Nice knot. Smells okay. I spilled it on the tablecloth. That's lovely. Yeah, the pasta's got a little bit of firmness to it. I mean, as much as tinned pasta can. Subtle flavor, very subtle. The texture of the sauce on the tongue is nice. It's a creamy, not as thick as maybe I would like it to be, but it's a nice texture. Again, I mean, the pasta is tinned pasta. There's only so much you can do with tinned pasta. It's a little gummy, but it's got a little firmness to it. I don't hate it. I wouldn't buy it as a regular thing, but I wouldn't be adverse to having it periodically. I still think, and I think it's based upon the serving size being half a can, as much as anything else, I feel like this is meant to go with something. Like you have a sandwich or a sausage roll or something with protein in it to go along with this. I don't feel like this is meant to be an entire meal. But then again, I'm an American. To me, the idea that half of that is a serving means that's clearly meant to go with something else. Because I'm an American, and, you know, there's a reason we have wider movie theater seats. All right, let's try our Chef Boyardee. This, it doesn't look good. I'll be honest, visually, I like that better. I like the fact it looks like soup. Even if it's a little pale, I think maybe that's what some people thought that it was bad from, is because it's a little pale. I mean, this is much more the color an American is used to seeing macaroni and cheese be. It's what the box stuff looks like generally, although, you know, obviously that's a smaller pasta. This is very pale, and I can see why to an American that looks not good. It looks a little sickly in color, just because we would never put something out quite that color here unless we labeled it, you know, organic or something. All right, let's try our Chef Boyardee. I don't have very high hopes for this. Because again, trying it cold, that one piece I had cold, it had like no flavor. It just tasted like pasta, which surprised me. How can something have that? I just made a mess. How can something have that much salt and not have flavor? But maybe heating it up will fix it. It didn't change the smell, but maybe it fixed the flavor. Oh, wow. No. Oh. All right. So, that is not good. Don't buy this. So, I like Chef Boyardee ravioli. I think I've said that before. If I did, I'm saying it again. And if I didn't, I'm making that clear. And what that tastes like. If you've ever had a piece of Chef Boyardee ravioli where the meat has fallen off of it and somehow it has no sauce, and it has that kind of weird pasta flavor that like no other pasta tastes like, it's what that tastes like. It's like, I guess it's the same pasta they use for the macaroni cheese. Obviously, it's the same pasta for macaroni and cheese. That's macaroni and cheese. I'm guessing that's the same pasta they use for the ravioli and probably for everything else. I don't usually eat Chef Boyardee stuff other than the ravioli occasionally. But it tastes like the pasta from the ravioli with just stuff on it. I'm not going to even say it tastes like cheese. And the texture is not good. If you've had Chef Boyardee before, you are aware of Chef Boyardee texture. It is that texture. But yeah, it's not. The cheese sauce is almost, the flavor is almost completely indistinguishable from the pasta. It has, chemically is a horrible term to use because literally everything is made out of chemicals. But the pasta has almost a chemically flavor to it. And without a strongly flavored sauce like, say, the tomato sauce they use in ravioli to cover that up, it's not pleasant. I'm really shocked. I mean, I didn't necessarily think I would like this better than the macaroni cheese, but I thought it would just be an explosion of flavor. How do you have so much sodium in a thing and have it not have any flavor? It's bland. It tastes like, it does taste a lot like homemade macaroni and cheese, but with really bad macaroni. Oh, that's awful. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've tried on this channel. It's still not boiled peanuts or Sour Patch Kids cereal, but it's not good. I don't recommend that at all. If you want to have tinned macaroni and cheese, which I'm going to say in general is maybe not a great idea, I haven't found any that's really, really good yet, I would definitely track down a can of Heinz. I would definitely be willing to eat this more. That may actually go in the trash because I think my wife tried it already while I was setting things back up back here, and she didn't care for it either. And yeah, I think this may join the boiled peanuts in the trash uneaten club, which is a rarity. I even ate the Sour Patch Kids cereal. It took a while, but they got eaten. This, this I think is going in the bin. That's not good at all. You have met Chef Boyardee. I have such low expectations from you to begin with, from a lifetime of Chef Boyardee ravioli and the occasional beefaroni. But you have managed to surprise me with how not good your mac and cheese is. I understand now why we don't have macaroni and cheese in a can in the US, because this is what we got when we tried it. Well, so yes, clear winner is the Heinz Macaroni Cheese. Are either of these good? This is not a taste sensation. This is not a thing that I'm going to go back and buy 6 cans of to keep in the cabinet. It's a thing I went back and bought 1 can of because I wanted to compare it to that. This, however, I am going to finish eating. Unless I can figure out some way to add some flavor to it. And we do have some macaroni and cheese powder in the cabinet. Maybe I'll try it with that. But the pasta texture is unpleasant. The pasta flavor is unpleasant. The cheese sauce has basically no flavor at all. And yet somehow there is my entire day's salt in this bowl. So yeah, Heinz is a clear winner here. Well, that's going to wrap up this video, I think. I hope you've enjoyed this, found it interesting. If nothing else, I've eaten these, so you don't have to. If you were going to try one of these, I would definitely say go with the Heinz Macaroni Cheese. Understand that it's not going to taste like the stuff out of the blue box. It's not going to taste like Stouffer's. It is its own thing. It's a unique flavor. But compared to this is actually quite nice. This is awful. Don't try Chef Boyardee mac and cheese unless perhaps you are very mean and want to give it to somebody you don't like. I do thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting at all, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will see you in the next video. Now, if you excuse me, this needs to go in the garbage. Oh, hey, you're still here. Okay, so I'm going to give this one little chance at redemption. See, I mentioned having macaroni and cheese powder in the cabinet. We do. We've used it a couple times on things. Sometimes on homemade mac and cheese that just kind of needs a little extra flavor. I think we used it on popcorn once, and I think that was quite good. But I'm going to try sprinkling some of this on this utterly flavorless mush and see if that does anything to make this in any way palatable. That's probably too much. And what's the sodium in this, by the way? Because I'm adding, so a third of a teaspoon of this is another 21% of your daily sodium. So if that's how much I put on there, that probably is. That brings the total sodium for this meal up to, what, 90% of my daily in one bowl. This is not a good idea. This is not a healthy food. But let's see if that does anything to make this at all palatable. All right. Why am I taking such a big bite? This is all right. So you can see this powder is on the cheese. Let's try it. You know, my very first thought was, that's not bad, because I got like a bunch of the cheese powder on my tongue. And then the flavor of the pasta hit me, and you would probably have to put so much of this on there that it would just like be a week's worth of salt. Nope. This is definitely going in the bin.